All right. Let's see. Hello, everyone. Give us 1 second while everyone is hopping on here. I am so freaking excited. Let me adjust my camera here. And as you guys are all hopping on, I would love to hear in the chat. We're going to get this chat going for this whole entire call here. But I'd love to hear where you're tuning in from because we have people from literally all over. Amazing. Okay. 1 second. I'm just moving us over. Yay. Hi, Julia, Steffi. Oh my gosh, I love when I recognize all of y'all and we've like chatted before. Okay, let's see, Vancouver, Thailand. Oh, girl, bring me some mango sticky rice. Belgium, India, Brooklyn. We got several New York people. Oh, so cool. If you see someone hanging out where you are, maybe you can make a new friend. Okay, I am going to dive right in. I'm going to share my screen here. Please make sure that your stuff is on mute for the duration of the training. And if you have any questions, pop them in the chat. I'll be checking the chat periodically, and we'll also do Q&A at the end, but I'll definitely check some stuff in the middle. So let me get my screen going and we will get started. Okay, let's move all of our faces here and we will present. Okay, awesome. So welcome to today's training. I'm going to try and make this little intro part as short as possible so we can get into the meat, all the juicy goodness today. So I'm going to be talking about how to build a service-based online business over the next 90 days. So we are going to give you like a 90-day game plan, some action steps. If you've ever been to any of my trainings before, I am all about kind of the no BS action steps, very straightforward type stuff. But we're talking about building a six-figure business that is sustainable so you can be able to travel the world. We don't have a ton of micro travel the world tips in here, but that is what the business is going to allow you to do. If you do have any travel the world questions, let me know. And for those of you that might be new here, I know a lot of you might follow me on social media. Some of you may have found this training via like a Facebook ad or something, but my name is Amanda. I am a business coach and I'm really good at helping new entrepreneurs develop their confidence and their clarity that they're going to need to be able to build six-figure foundations and really step into this like unstoppable energy to not only, of course, build a business, but a business that supports your lifestyle and a freedom lifestyle, whatever that means to you. For me, I do travel the world full time, but obviously there's a lot of ways to do that. So really, I help people a lot with building these six-figure types of foundations and building brands on social media. So today's training, just so you guys know, I always like to kind of have a heads up of what I'm walking into when I look at stuff or attend stuff. So it's going to be about 90 minutes long. I would love for you at some point in the training, especially if you're loving something in particular, to take a screenshot and tag me on Instagram. My name is at Amanda Colby, just so I can see who's watching, and like, don't be a stranger. Shoot me a DM afterwards. I love hearing like y'all's favorite takeaway and all of that. So let's dive in. Before we start, I know this seems like cliche and obvious, but I really genuinely am so excited for those of you that are here live. So I really want you to get the most out of this training. I've put a lot of good nuggets and stuff in here, and I really want you to be able to take stuff away. So put your phone aside. You signed up for this training for a reason. Give yourself that attention, grab a notebook, whatever it is that you're going to need to kind of jot down a bunch of ideas and notes as we go along. So you are at this training most likely because you are one of three people. And if you want to go ahead and pop in the chat kind of which one you're resonating with most, I think that's really fun. That is actually my one rule for masterclasses is, while I am the only one speaking here, I want this to be interactive and fun. So I am going to ask you guys certain questions along the way, and I want you to participate. It's a lot of fun to see other people's answers as well. And it's just going to make this more lively and energetic and fun. So let me know in the chat which one of these is you. So a lot of y'all that are here are probably in a 9-to-5. Maybe you're wanting to escape that. I know some people here are like a teacher or a blogger. You're some sort of person that just like travel is your lifestyle. You didn't ever think maybe you'd run a business, but now you're realizing that a business can help you live that lifestyle. Or you might be a new entrepreneur who you've had clients, all those sorts of things, but you're kind of stuck in this freelancer mode. And we're going to talk a little bit about more of what that means, like being stuck in freelancer mode as well. Yay, escape, new entrepreneur. Okay, like everyone wants to escape. I should have called it escape, or all of the above. That can qualify too. Stay-at-home mom. Oh, yay. Yeah, so you probably want to stay at home with your new baby, which is so valid. Okay, So moving on, I'm also guessing that a lot of you are probably either like passionate about a skill. Some of you might not be. Some of you might just want to like travel the world. And like I said, you're like, okay, like this is a good opportunity to do this. But I know that like when I was thinking back to where I was at this stage, like you just want to enjoy every single day. Don't want an income cap, right? Like if I work harder, I want to be able to earn more money. And you're really probably tired of being overwhelmed. We're going to also talk more about how to overcome this a little bit and some action steps here. But I think the biggest thing I hear from new entrepreneurs in this stage is just this like feeling of overwhelm, because let's be honest, there's like so many opinions on social media and freebies and this and that and all of these free trainings that it can be really hard. Even at my stage, like I get overwhelmed on social media sometimes when I don't have some like guidance or a clear path or something to follow. So you are definitely in the right place if this is sounding like what you're looking for. If not, you can just stay and hang out anyways. But really, if you're looking for information as far as like, you have what it takes, but you know like what you want, right? Like we want this freedom, but you feel like you need clarity and information as far as like, what do I offer? How do I sell? How do you send invoices? Like all this stuff. We're going to go over some of that stuff today. You're in the right place. If you're looking for a roadmap, like I was saying before, you're probably consuming at this point, like a lot of content, a lot of people on Instagram, and you're really just looking for like, what do I actually need to move the needle forward? In the right place for sure. And then if you also are specifically wanting to build a service-based business using social media, you are in the right place as well. Unfortunately, this training is not for like product-based businesses, things like that. You can probably still grab some good nuggets, but we are focusing on service-based businesses that are built off of a brand for the purpose of this training. Now, last thing before we dive in here, I just want you guys to really know just very briefly who I am, because you're sitting here listening to me and I want you to understand why I'm sitting here talking to you and that I'm qualified to be showing you this stuff. So like I was saying, I am a business coach and a marketing coach. I help a lot of entrepreneurs, service-based, so designers, copywriters, agencies, coaches, things like that. I actually used to be in sales in corporate America, working with Fortune 500 companies. And then I used to run my own design business. So I have run a done-for-you business and a coaching business. And we've scaled my coaching business to almost $1 million in 2 years. We've served hundreds of clients over 25 different countries all over the world. And I've helped my clients generate over $2 million, $2.5 million in revenue. And myself, I'm also a full-time digital nomad, I guess you'd call it. So I've spent a lot of time in Southeast Asia and now Europe for the past 3 years. So literally businesses and traveling the world, kind of my jam. So at this point, my life, it looks a little bit like this, which is, I'm assuming, what a lot of you are desiring as well. I wake up without an alarm clock if I want. We make multiple six figures. I counted this up. I think it was like 80 vacation days last year, traveling to places in like mountains in Vietnam and Puerto Rico, Qatar, all these places. So it looks really sexy and fun, but how we get to this point is all of the stuff that we're working on in this training, is all of the nitty gritty details, like really putting the pedal to the metal and starting to treat this like a business. That's going to be really important. But I want you to recognize that with this, I had no degree in business. I had no trust fund backing any of this stuff up. I was still paying student loans when I started on this journey. So just really take that as a grain of salt of encouragement, really, that like this is so freaking possible when you go all in. And of course, not only this, like I'm not special, honestly. I wish I could tell you that I was, but these are just a couple of client examples that I'll give you. Christina, she is now also one of my great friends, but we worked together for over a year, and she has been in business just a year now, went from 0 to 20K months, and now has a full-on agency working 4 days a week. She just booked a one-way ticket to Italy again. Louisa, same thing. She went from 1K to 75K week, you guys. I think when I first heard numbers like this, I was like, oh, what? Like that's so far away. Like that's like not even possible. And I am telling you, like this shit is possible. Excuse me, I am gonna curse on this. Just comes out. But like this shit is possible and it's so freaking exciting. And this is just the beginning of all the non-BS information that you're gonna be needing. So agenda for today, what we are covering, just so you can kind of stay on track with us. We're going to be very briefly just talking a little bit about why service-based businesses are like the best thing that you can do for yourself right now. And then the meat of this training is going to be the middle 2 bullet points, 5 steps needed to build a 6-figure business. We're breaking it down real simple. And then 3 secret weapons, of course, that are either holding you back or going to be your like power up for success. So double-edged sword there. And then we'll end with a 90-day game plan for you. So like I said, if you have any questions, if something pops out to you, if you're like, oh my gosh, I resonate with that, please put it in the chat and I'll be pausing in between all of this to just look at the chat and see how you guys are doing. And if you do stay until the end, we've got some goods for you because we have so much. I don't want you guys to miss anything. And so if you are sticking around with us through this whole thing, we will be taking all of your emails and everything from the ones that are at the end of this training, and you'll be getting a bonus PDF that has all of the six-figure tools and softwares that we recommend and that we use in my business to give you like lots of good details there. You'll also get a 30-day Instagram stories calendar, and this is not like one of those fluffy ones that's like do a boomerang of your coffee, like it's actual prompts for you. And then you will also learn a little bit more about how to get some exclusive offers on Laptop Lifestyle Bootcamp, which is launching today. And my content kit course for free. So we like to have fun and incentivize everyone to hang around here. Okay, let me just check the chat, see how we're doing. Give me like an emoji, how we're feeling. Are we feeling jazzed, excited? I'd actually love to hear from you guys as I start on this slide here. Would you tell me why you signed up for this webinar, or just like what you're most excited about to learn today? I think it's always super fun to see everyone's answers there. And while y'all are typing that, I'll come back here. Okay, so first thing that we are starting on is really why a service-based business is the best thing. And the only reason that I'm just mentioning this for a quick second before we go into like these 5 steps is that a lot of people are trying to think of like, okay, I want the lifestyle, right? But you've probably thought of like an e-commerce thing or digital products, or maybe you've thought of a course creation business. And so I know that these thoughts are often like swirling in people's heads in the beginning. And I really want you to feel like so gung-ho confident that this is the right path for you right now, which is why I just want to point out that this is the best thing to be. So I'm going to give you a little math thing just to start off. It's simple though. Of really like if your goal is to build a 6-figure business, right? We're looking at anywhere from 5 to 10K months. Let's do a little math here, right? So if you are, oops, make sure your mics are off if you can, please. So if you are selling like a digital product, right? Can be great. But in the beginning, we would have to sell a $20 digital product. We'd have to make 250 sales of those every single month, right? That's a lot of people. A $297 course, we'd have to do 17 a month, right? So a little more doable, but still a good amount of people. $40 physical product, I won't even get into that, but if y'all are looking to travel the world, let me tell you, if you don't have physical products, that's gonna be very difficult. You'd still have to make a ton of sales. So when we're looking at starting your entrepreneurship journey, even if this isn't what you want to do for the rest of, eternity, or you're not even sure, this service-based business is the best place to start, because you could have a $1,500 service, which if that intimidates you, I promise it's not as intimidating as it looks, but you would need 3 to 4 people to say yes per month. That is it, you guys. I guarantee any single one of you right now, if we were to start to dive into it, like on a coaching call together, you could go get in front of 3 to 4 people that would say yes within the next 30 days, right? So this is really why this is such an amazing place to start as well, because most of y'all probably don't have a big audience or any audience at all, right? So we don't need that many people when we only need 3 or 4 yeses. You can also charge higher prices than a lot of like products and courses with this. So again, we need less people. You're going to have less startup costs. So all of these different types of products and courses, they take a lot of time and money to put into to be able to build them. And also if you're looking at like other types of businesses, you're probably taking out 10 to 20K just to even start the business. Whereas this, you can start a service-based business for like about $50 a month and probably less than 5K, like your first couple of months to like get yourself anything that you really need. And just lastly, it's little prep, like I was saying before. While courses are amazing and they are really great as you scale your business, it can be really, really hard in the beginning. And it is a mistake that I see a lot of people making before they have a more established presence. So as we go through the training, I want you to know one important thing, which is that there are basically 2 skills. So when I say the word skills, there are 2 different ones that you're going to have in order to build a 6-figure business like this. Okay. So since we're all sold on having a service-based business, right, at this point, hopefully, you're going to need, of course, the skill that you offer for your service, right? So this is going to be design, copywriting, coaching, virtual assistant services, whatever that is. But the second one you'll need is the skill of running a business. This is not just let me slap stuff up there and make a couple bucks, right? Y'all are all here because you want this to be your forever future. We want this to be a long-term success, not a quick thing. So we do actually need skills of learning how to run a business. And a lot of people don't look at it that way. Or a lot of people stay stuck trying to like fine tune their service skill or figure out their service skill. And in actuality, while we're not going to talk too much about this part, but you really just have to pick one thing. That's all you need to get started to actually be able to offer people, right, to make money. And once you learn how to run the business side of things, the skills are always going to evolve and grow and develop. So this is great, one, because we can expand, and two, it'll get you started. So I started as a designer. I didn't necessarily want to be a designer, but it got me going, and I would not be a coach today had I not started in that realm. So it's a springboard and just the best way to go. Now, before I give you action steps here, the mindset we have to be in to look at the action steps is that you must be starting to treat this like an actual business, okay? Y'all are all here. Maybe you know me, maybe you just saw an ad and you're like, oh, this looks interesting, right? But regardless of where you're at in your journey, whether it's an idea or you've got a couple of clients, it starts not with just the motions that I'm going to tell you to go through, right? The action steps, but you have to really view this as a legitimate business, because the decisions you make, the priorities you rearrange, all of these things, they are also going to have a massive impact on you reaching the success that you're wanting to reach. So if you want to travel the world and build this like 6-figure business, we can't half-ass this anymore, right? This is not a side hustle. This is not freelancing. This is the start of you really like deciding today that I'm taking this seriously and I'm going to start acting like it is already a 6-figure business. The other part of this is focusing one thing at a time. That's why with the 5 steps we're going over today, we're keeping it as simple as possible, and yet also telling you the things that you actually need to move forward, because you don't actually need to do all of the things that you probably think you do. That's another thing that's probably keeping you stuck, right? It's trying to figure out it all or trying to do it all. Anyone can raise your hand if you feel guilty of one of those two things. So some of you put in the chat there, quite a few of you, that you are a new entrepreneur who is stuck kind of in that freelancer mode. So if that is you, I want this to be your shift with the mindset and also literal things that we're looking at, right? And if you haven't started your business, then let's just like skip the freelancer mode and go straight to business owner. Let me just quickly say there's nothing wrong with being a freelancer. It is just different, okay? And most of you are here because you actually want what the business owner does, but we might be stuck in the freelancer mode, right? So essentially, quick and simple, freelancer is very straightforward. It is, I have a skill, just design in general, right? And I am exchanging that for money, right? I'm exchanging time for money. You're not really building a brand. It's not necessarily scalable. It's typically just you, not necessarily a team, right? It's very just transactional and like, hey, that's all I have to do is just do what I'm being paid to do and whatnot. Now, you might still have some independence there, but again, it's not a long-term thing that we're building, and you're always going to be chasing and pitching after projects, right? So a business owner, this is bigger than you, which I know is kind of hard to imagine right now, but it really is bigger than you. You're going to have a team. You're going to be the one steering the vision and the direction, right? Future planning. You're actually building a brand that has so much value and power, and it will vary what you're offering, what you're selling, right? We can have products, digital products, courses, services, all these different things under this umbrella, and it's very scalable, right? And you're going to eventually be the CEO. So I'm assuming if we were to poll right now, most of you want to be the business owner. And so assuming you do, this is first that mental shift that needs to be made. And then the 5 steps we're diving into right now. Let me just check the chat, see how we're doing. Shaya, yes, I'm so glad you're here, girl. Always value packed. Clarity, needs some guidance. Okay, how to scale. Good. Okay. So just seeing why you guys said you're here, for sure in the right place. And like I said, as we go along, please ask questions. I love questions, and I want to make sure you're getting all of that good stuff answered. I have my own online business, live in Costa Rica. Oh, so fun. Manage lifestyle with 5K months, help scale down the overwhelm. Amazing. Okay. Good stuff, guys. Okay. So what do we actually need to start this 6-figure business? We need essentially 3 things. I told y'all I'm keeping it simple. I want you to walk away with this with like actually what you need to know and not all this overwhelm, right? So we need something to sell, we need people to sell it to, and then we need the action of marketing and sales, right? If we're not actually doing number 3, then number 2 and number 1 don't make sense, right? So we're breaking this down into basically a 5-step cycle. And it's important that we know that this is a cycle, not a linear thing, because they all feed off each other and they're all constantly evolving and growing and needing to be repeated. Okay. So it's going to be offers, right? We got to have something to sell. Then lead gen and nurture. We have to have people in front of us that we are building know, like, and trust, and that we're actually getting in front of us to be able to sell to. Convert, we're going to talk a little bit about sales. And then number 5, a lot of people I feel like don't actually talk about and until later in their business, and that's delivering, right? It's actually delivering what you have to offer. So there's a lot of this talk in the online space about messy action, and y'all, I'm 100% behind messy action in the beginning because so many people get held up by this perfectionism side of things. But also what we actually need to be able to be successful with our clients is to deliver the results that we're promising. We don't have to deliver everything under the sun, right? You don't have to promise that you're going to be the best Instagram manager ever, when in actuality, maybe like your zone of genius is just hashtags right now, right? But whatever it is that we're offering and promising, we do have to deliver. And the reason this is so important is because I want all of you to walk away thinking like a 6-figure business owner, right? Of I am serving my clients over the top, right? I am delivering what I promise and thinking about a client experience. Because when you think about these sorts of things from day one, that's what starts to get your name out there. That's what starts to get people saying, oh my gosh, I had the best experience with her. You need to go check out Amanda or Amanda's program, right? And so it can be these little things, but it's the intentionality of having all of these things work together. So if some of you have touched on some of these, right? I know some of y'all are having some wheels moving in the business here, but if you're stuck either in like overwhelm or freelancer mode, or it's just kind of feeling like impossible to stand out or even like start to get seen here, one reason might be because all of these things have to work together. And so a lot of people will get a little nugget here, a training about getting a client, right? Or a mini course about creating your offer. But these things don't work because it's a cycle unless you have all of them working together, right? And then the other part of this, which we'll talk about in just a minute, is the 3 secret weapons that I talked about that are the thing that, yes, you could do all 5 of these steps and go through the motions, but if you're not seeing the momentum that you need to build, it's going to be because of these 3 secret weapons that essentially just like amplify this to really skyrocket you towards success. So we're going to dive into all 5 of those. But I want to give you guys client examples as we go along here. One, because I don't like to just teach theory. I like you to see that like there's no bullshit here, right? Like what I'm talking about, it has been implemented, it has been proven, and not just it's been proven, it's possible for you too, right? So this is a client, Elena. She has gone through Laptop Lifestyle Bootcamp. All these clients have. And less than 90 days after starting LB, she hit her first 5K month, quit her 9-to-5, replaced her 9-to-5 salary, and started booking out months in advance, right? So when we look back at this, she had all of these pieces in place. She was actually having clients beforehand, but it was when she started putting it all together in this cycle that very quickly results can happen when you're really, really focused and have the right pieces in place. Other example is Bailey. So Bailey was actually already making some decent money, right? 3K months, that's really good. And she just said that this hands down changed her life every penny. She actually just hit, I was working with her at another program together this summer. She hit her first 15K month, and this was only a year later. So just like pause for a minute, y'all, of like how life-changing a 15K month would be. And now Bailey also has like passive income. She stays at home with her 2 boys. So it is honestly mind-blowing how much can change in a year when you really follow these steps we're going over here. So first thing is your offer, okay? What you do not need to know, you do not need to know exactly what you want to do long-term. Like I said, we've got to get started, and we're going to build a brand, which is what we really focus on here. We're going to build a brand that allows you to evolve, okay? So we literally just need one offer to get started. You also don't need the perfect idea. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. I'm going to show you on the next slide how you can take something very simple and make it stand out. So you just need to dive in and get started, and you need to get people results, but we do not have to be an expert. So I'd actually love to see, you can throw in whatever emoji you want, but I'd love to see a raise of hands here, like who either has or is currently feeling almost this imposter syndrome because you feel like you're not qualified enough or like you need to be an expert. Safe space here. We're all probably similar. Okay, raised hands. Yeah. Okay, so I mean, I've been there. I'm not immune to this. Everyone has. And so what I want you to take away from this is the difference between an authority and an expert. All right. So an authority is someone that owns the level of what they know. Okay. They are an authority in their certain small area. So they are like, hey, this is my jam. I know all about this. Sorry, I have things popping up in the corner here. I know all about this and I am owning the level that I know, right? Now, an expert is someone that we typically look at that like knows a lot, knows everything under the sun. So the difference here in a very literal example is, let's say that you wanted to be a social media manager, but you're like, I don't know anything about Pinterest. I don't know about Facebook. Like all the clients that are going to come to me, they're going to want all of this. And so you're sitting here telling yourself, I'm not qualified because we don't know everything under the sun, right? When in actuality, you could start making money tomorrow if all you did was design Instagram graphics for people's stories and launches and feed, right? That could be how small we could own your authority and you set the tone for people, right? So if that's your one offer to start, right, we're going to expand later, and you show up to the scene and you're like, y'all, the design specifically for Instagram of how we capture people's attention within the first 7 seconds of them seeing stuff is so important. It's a different type of design that I really take into consideration with all of my clients in the way that I do these Instagram design packages. Like, this is what you need to make the next sale in your business. Sign up now, swipe up now, right? Is anyone convinced to buy? It's because I'm owning my authority at this level, not trying to be weighed down that I'm not an expert yet on everything under the sun. Make sense? Thumbs up. So what does really make a good offer here then? So when we're looking at the simplest way of what's going to make you a good offer is, yes, we have to have a skill to offer, but a skill is not an offer or package, right? So a skill is design. An offer might be web design package or branding design package, right? And so the goal here is we don't want to just trade anything that you want me to do design wise for a certain hourly rate, right? We want to create a fixed experience that becomes like rinse and repeat process and scalable to really fine tune and become known for something. So we want our offer to have 3 things. It needs to solve a problem. Okay. So writing skills alone don't necessarily solve a problem, but blog writing and blog formatting on a monthly basis does serve a certain problem that can be targeted to certain people who don't have time anymore to write their blog, but really need that reach, right? That solves a problem. Now, we also need our offer to actually have a process. So we need to be able to get people a certain result. And so in order to get that result, we want to start to become known, not only from the outside, but also for internally to make it easier on you and have a certain process in which we create that transformation for people. So for example, a social media manager might help their clients, let's say with like Instagram. So we want to say, well, what is your process for that? How do you help people with Instagram? Because you might think in your brain, you're like, oh, well, everyone would help the same way. But I guarantee you, if you start to get in a room with people, how you approach something or do something might be a little bit different. And if we don't know that, we can't own that. We can't sell that, right? We have to be selling. The last thing is going to be features. So features are going to be what's included. What are the actual things that you are doing or giving or providing throughout that process, right? How are we supporting the clients along the journey of the process? So for example, if you're a coach, this might be number of calls, type of access they get. If you are a designer, how many pages, how many revisions are they getting? All of these things that when you show up and your clients are asking questions and struggling throughout a process, this is going to make you look like a 6-figure business owner, right? Because you're like, I know exactly what I'm doing. I have a crafted and set process that we walk through, and it is going to make you be able to scale and make things run so much more smoothly. Me. Okay. Don't have an emoji, but me. Okay. Love that you guys are resonating here. So as I explained this last piece about the offer, if anyone has an offer already that they're like, ooh, I'm feeling really good about this now, or you already have an idea for an offer, just kind of in starting to learn this information, I'd love for you to share it in the chat and I can kind of see what you guys are cooking up. But here's a couple examples how we can take our offers the more that you start to build your brand and your marketing and like all of these other pieces that are going to come into this. So your offers can be essentially like filtered or made specific based on a couple things. They could be made specific based on your target market, based on your brand, or they actually don't have to be, right? They can be a general offer. So with that, we could have a skill over here. I'm looking at like the niche offer side. We could have a skill graphic design. Let's say our deal client, that's what ICA is wedding planners. A way you could then really niche down that offer and make it stand out is doing social media graphics for Pinterest and Instagram that are very specific to what market research you've done that wedding planners are going to need. Like maybe wedding planners need these like itineraries, or they need certain feature Fridays for, different venues that they work with, something like that, right? So you really being like, oh, she is the go-to person for that, right? That's going to help you get more clients. Next thing is a general offer. We can still have, like, I do graphic design, and I'm going to use that skill within branding, and we could maybe serve a lot of different types of online businesses, and we could narrow things down just by the type of person we want to work with. And lastly would be your brand. So this will be something that you have to get started with, and you're going to get more clarity as you go along and dive in. But let's say you were like a mindset coach and your ideal client, let's just say like advanced entrepreneurs. But let's say your brand is like loud and bold, and maybe you're like, maybe you're a mom and you're like, yes, like, fuck it, and like the energy symbol. I'm trying to think of like a vibe for you guys, right? So maybe your offer becomes, as this mindset coach, like, fuck the imposter syndrome intensive, right? Like that gives you a vibe. Not everyone's going to love it, but some people are going to be drawn to it. And maybe you're marketing for that type of offer, and the process that you take people through, it's very specific for moms that want this no BS approach in 30 minutes a day to kick their imposter syndrome, right? You see how different these sorts of things, we can take a skill and filter it down. And this is really going to help you start to stand out and make more sales. So the next step in our process here is lead gen and nurture. So you guys can see here on the screen, we've got what looks like a little bit of a funnel here. Now there technically are more steps below this in like a true funnel, but we're just kind of looking at these two steps here, lead gen and then nurturing our audience. So this is where, like, we got to get people in front of us, right? If no one knows we exist, they can't buy from us. And so we have to get visible. Now, I'm sure at this point, many of you have heard of the word visible. It's a very used word in the online space. So we want to explain, like, what does that look like? Because you do genuinely, especially in the beginning when no one knows you exist, like you have to put yourself out there. You have to start getting in front of people, getting visible, right? So this could look like showing up on Instagram, showing up in Facebook groups, pitching yourself for podcasts, getting in front of new audiences that way, right? Doing Instagram collabs or any sort of collaborations. Things like this with the intention of visibility are essentially you borrowing audiences that already exist because you don't have one yet. So we really have to focus on this in the beginning. And for a lot of people, I think they get held back about visibility because it feels vulnerable, right? To like put yourself out there and you're still kind of getting confident and like finding your footing, right? But your clients are out there, but you have to be willing to, one, be persistent. Again, in the beginning, we kind of got to continually put ourselves out there, and then be a little bit vulnerable, right? It's going to feel a little bit scary for most people. That's fine. That's very normal. So the other things that we can do to generate leads, right, getting people in front of us, is outreach. So this is where you can be intentional and say, hey, okay, I want to serve photographers, whatever it is that you're doing, right? Well, where are photographers hanging out? Let's not just wait for them to find us, right? How can we go insert ourselves getting in front of them? Can you attend, even with the world starting to open up now, can you attend like in-person networking events in your own city? Can you join photographer-specific Facebook groups? Can you engage with certain photographers on Instagram and try and start those conversations, right? But we have to take action and be intentional to get in front of the people until you start to grow and build momentum, where things are going to shift towards attraction marketing, where people will start coming to you, right? A couple other ideas for you are paid ads and freebies. However, I wouldn't really recommend paid ads for most new entrepreneurs, simply because it requires a lot of capital, and you really want to have a good organic strategy going, but it does generate leads, right? So wanted to throw it in there for you guys. Now, the next two steps here, and I'll check the chat in just a minute if anyone has any questions as well. Next two steps here are going to be captivate and nurture. So captivate, why this is a specific one is because here's the thing, right? If someone finds you, they are like, oh, wow, Amanda online, who is this person, right? If you don't capture their attention, if there's not something that resonates with them, that stands out to them, that they feel connected to, you're not even going to get a chance to nurture the people, right? We did all this work to get visible and get in front of them, but there's this gap between generating the leads and actually being able to nurture the people in front of you and build the relationship. And captivating them is where a lot of people struggle. This is where you have to work on your content, your messaging, your brand being really distinct and powerful, right? So this is going to be mostly for us on using social media. It's going to be content, which is a whole book that we won't open. I don't think that's a real phrase, but y'all will quickly learn I'm terrible with phrases. But anyways, we have to captivate our audience, right? Hook them in, get them to really like connect with us, because then they need to continue following us, right? So last part is nurture. So once they're in your world, they're in this little funnel, then we need to be intentional about nurturing them. So I see a lot of people being like, I'm going through the motions, I'm engaging, I'm doing Instagram lives, I'm doing these things, right? But like, no, I'm pitching on stories and I'm not getting any sales. Well, here's the thing. One, people need to see things a lot of times before they're ready for the sale. Two, our content needs to prime them for the sale. And three, we need to use everything in our power to be intentional about the people we spend the most time with, right? Your time is very valuable. I wish I could have conversations with all of you every single day. I'm sure you're all amazing people, but I have a limited amount of time, right? And so do you. So you have to be picky and intentional about, hey, who do I feel like is the warmest? Who's expressing the most interest in my stuff? And this will start to look like different areas of tracking and data. And something as simple as like a lead sheet where you're saying this person has raised their hand. They've said they're interested in X, Y, and Z. They're commenting on all my stuff. Let me try and build a relationship with that person. And this is not like a sleazy thing of like, let me try and force them into a sales conversation. This is like, actually build a relationship with this person, and it will translate into a sale at the right time. Okay. I've talked to people for over a year that I'm like, oh, they would be such a great client. I'd love to work with them, right? But like timing isn't right. And I genuinely still want to build pure connections, whether they end up buying for me or not. Because all of this will really start to expand your reach, right? Okay. I'm not sure it's on the screen here. I think it's a line. Okay. So in order for people to buy from us, going back to this little thing here, right? What has to happen? So after this nurture point at the bottom is going to be where we're going to talk about like the sales and conversion part. So for them to actually buy from you during all three of these stages, they first need to know, like, and trust you, right? So generating leads, they have to know you exist. They have to start to be captivated, following your stuff, start to like you, but then they really have to start to trust you. And a lot of this is going to be done via our content when we talk about the way that we're running online businesses on social media. So this is a whole nother topic and area. Happy to answer any questions here too, where you really have to put a lot of work into your messaging and your brand and how you're positioning things, and then how you're communicating it via your content, because your content should actually be doing the heavy lifting of the sales process for you. And that's why for some people, sales feels so hard. And so I guarantee if you make this note from this presentation here of like, I really need to work on infusing these things into my content, getting really clear with how I'm communicating all of this, that when you do that, your content primes people to be ready for the sale. And that's when you see people like, hey, I just put up an Instagram story and got like 5 people message me, I'm ready for the sale, and I've never talked to them, right? It's because they've been being primed via what you're working on there. So a couple examples of what this looks like, right? Kelly is a past Laptop Lifestyle Bootcamp client, and she landed 4, absolute dream clients within her first 2 weeks of launching her business. And she continues to get almost all of her clients from Instagram and through her DMs. And this was after a couple weeks, she started posting very intentional content. It was like speaking to her audience, educating, helping them trust her, right? And really building these relationships. And as you can see, it can happen really, really quickly when the content starts to do the work for you. This is also Abby. So we talked about different ways that you're generating leads, right? So Abby is another client. She was making around like $200 a month, and she went to 5K months. And she was just consistently, I don't mean this as a cliche phrase, like she would text me, she's like, I woke up to another person in my inbox who just like came in from a freebie and asked for a discovery call, right? So she was using different things set up on the back end, very basic funnels. I know that probably sounds like a scary word to a lot of people, but they can be very simple for her to go through. And she actually went through the whole process in her freebie to her funnel, which is something we work on in Laptop Lifestyle Bootcamp as well, to generate the leads via a freebie, to captivate them, continuing nurture them, and actually lead them to a sale all behind the scenes without you, right? That's the dream. And then last example here. So Maddie did kind of the same thing. She launched her business on Instagram, and this was actually her personal Instagram, but she had started talking and being like a thought leader about the topics of her business, right? And she got 2 inquiries literally in less than 24 hours. And it was because she was very open. She was very vulnerable. She talked with like confidence and clarity. There was a lot of conviction behind her really being sold on what she does. And that's very important when you're starting to show up and make a name for yourself as you are selling, right? It's not always about doing more. Sometimes it's about the little things of shifting the messaging or learning how to have better communication and sales skills and really speak with conviction and confidence, which is also something we work a lot on. We do like hot seat coaching and stuff inside of LLB to be able to have skills like that. Okay, let me check the chat really fast and see how we are doing. Okay, some of the packages you guys mentioned before, coaching on how to manifest. Yes, love that. One-on-one Facebook ads tutorials. Ooh, okay, yep. Facebook ads are such high demand. So a lot of packages there are going to be helpful. Helping online coaches and service providers transform their one-on-one offers into one-to-many courses. Ooh, I love that. That is absolutely something that is needed. And I love how specific that is. So those are really great offers, you guys. Okay, so step number 4, building a 6-figure business is obviously we got to sell, right? We are a business here. So in order to hit 6 figures, whatever it is, we have to start making money, right? And that means we actually have to sell. I know this seems very, very simple and obvious, but most people have a lot of negative connotations and limiting beliefs around selling, which is one way that you might be holding yourself back. One way that you might be going through all this effort and energy to generate and nurture leads, and you've started to do some of these pieces, right? But without this piece, the cycle's not going to work. The cycle's not going to fuel the achievements that you're looking for, right? So in order to close sales, kind of simplify this down to 4 things at this stage in business, right? We have to build upon the previous steps. So again, we're not just selling out of the blue. We're not just cold here. There has to be a valid desired offer, something we can do market research and validate, right? People need to be in front of us to buy from us. And then we go through that nurtured list, right? Of nurtured, warm, and very like trust-filled leads that are sitting in front of us. Okay. So that's building upon the previous steps. We also have to make it easy and clear. So this is something, if you are already a little bit in business, you can go do this check literally this evening or today. And I want you to find someone. Actually, you can connect with someone in this group here, or just find a friend in a Facebook group. You can head into mine. I want you to find someone that doesn't know you very well, to go to your Instagram, give them 0 instructions or information, or if you're not on Instagram, wherever it is that your business is at. And I want you to tell them to try and purchase from you. How easy is it to get all the information that they need to make the purchasing decision? How many steps does it take? Is it very clear to go from here to here to here? Is it clear who you are, what you do, and what you offer? If not, we're going to be doing all this work to get people in front of us, but they're not going to convert to the sale because the information is not easy, right? We're creating friction in the buying process. So this is one thing to do an audit of yourself. The other thing is you must make this an obvious choice, okay? So what I mean by this is it's really important how you position things, because here's the thing. Y'all, there's a million virtual assistants, there's a million designers, there's a million business coaches, okay? How you position your brand and your offers, which we're communicating through the content, right? That is going to be so important to people actually buying from you. You need to communicate. This is something you can write down. You need to be able to communicate the value in your offer. Your audience should be able to see that very clearly, and you should be able to communicate, why is this a priority now? Okay. The value in what you have to offer and why this is a priority now. Because when those 2 things are communicated to the right people and they've been nurtured and trust you, you are the obvious choice every time, right? You are the obvious choice. It's a no-brainer for them to buy from you. You're not sitting there overcoming objections, feeling like you're forcing people into a corner. You're the obvious choice. Lastly, you must have a process in place define leads, follow up with leads, and bring them to the sale. Okay, so it's not enough. And this is a mistake I see a lot of people making, is they're putting it all out there. They're like, all right, Amanda, I got brave, I got visible, I'm doing content, I'm doing the things, right? Maybe you're even doing a call to action, right? Of like, sign up for my thing, you know, link in bio, whatever it is. But just because you put it out there doesn't mean that people are always going to come. A lot of people need to be nurtured. They need to be invited for it, right? And a lot of us think, because we've had negative associations with sales, that if I reach out to this person, that they're going to be like, oh, she cold messaged me and she was like a sleazy salesperson. And there's a right and a wrong way to do this. But you being intentional and having a system in place makes this be so much more easy and intentional, where you can't remember all these people that you're interacting with all the time and who's going to be a right fit. You can't remember that when I talk to, I don't know, Sarah, and I've been talking to her, let's say for a couple months. And if I had a leads process, one, I could set myself reminders to follow up with her. Two, I could take notes on what did we talk about? You know, what were her pain points and her objections before? There's nothing wrong with taking notes like that for you to be able to really dig deeper with people and continue to build the conversation, continue to build a relationship, and reaching out to someone and saying, hey, Sarah, you know, I know we've been chatting for the last couple of months, and I honestly just wanted to reach out to you because you've been struggling with X, Y, and Z. And I don't know if you saw my stories, but I'm actually launching Laptop Lifestyle Bootcamp right now. And I think it'd be a great fit for you. No pressure at all, but I honestly just really wanted to reach out because I would love to help you do X, Y, and Z, right? That's not sleazy. That feels seen. You feel seen, you feel valued, like someone knew you enough to give you something specific and try and help you. It's really important to remember that sales is an act of service, right? We talked about offers before. Your offer has to solve a problem. So why would you not sell your heart out sitting here being like, yo, I got a solution to your problem. I can literally help you. And I'm so excited about it. Why, you know, come buy from me because I can help you. You need to sell with that type of energy and conviction along with these other pieces. And I promise you, it is going to be a shift like that, right? You're also going to have a lot more fun with it when you're not sitting here like, oh my God, I don't want to sell, right? Okay, last thing with sales here is when we're trying to make it easy and clear. This is also going to make sure, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but I want to make sure you hear it again. So something we can write down is make sure that people can find out and they understand who you are, what you do, what you offer, how to get more information, and how to take a next step, how to take an action. So book a call, purchase, etc. Okay. Who you are, what you do, what you offer, how to get more information, and how to take the next step. So you should also know, what do I want the person to do, right? Don't leave it up to chance. If I want everyone to go look in the link in my bio, right? I'm selling Laptop Lifestyle Bootcamp right now. I love this freaking program. There's no other links in my bio because guess what? I want to make it easy for people to join this program that I know is going to change their life. And so it is very clear that I know I want them to click the link that is just Laptop Lifestyle Bootcamp in my bio. So I made it pretty damn obvious for everyone to go click that link and not get lost and confused elsewhere, right? Be intentional about what you want people to do. They won't always do exactly what you want them to do, but if you're intentional, they'll do more of it, right? Okay, before our fifth step here, thanks for hanging in, and we'll do a little check-in here in a minute, but I want to talk about a few examples of this sales. Like when we put these pieces in place, what does this look like, right? So this is Megan. So Megan used just her social media audience. In fact, she had less than 1,000 followers. She launched a new program. So this was a little bit after she launched her business. She did a lot of the leads tracking and following. She did a lot of the nurturing with her audience and with her content, all of this stuff, right? Following what we've talked about. Launched a new program, knew exactly who she was speaking to. She had a 20K launch, y'all. This was less than 3 months in business. A 20K launch for a group program that she had, okay? Because of the things that we're talking about. This is Louisa. This is a really cool specific example. So she actually did a guest training workshop. And this was for another person's like program or membership. I can't remember exactly. And she recognized that that was a great place to generate leads from, right? That was a place where she was able to intimately build trust with her audience. And within that, she was able to follow up with those people, to build relationships, to be intentional, not just leaving it up to chance, right? She is still getting clients from that workshop. I don't know how many months ago it was, but she's still getting clients from that workshop, right? So anything, and this is just a couple of others, right? We see leads coming in left and right, closed a deal with one client, 2 more discovery calls. I think this was like 2 weeks into her business. Signed my 4th client this week. So sales can be fun, and sales can be, I don't like the word easy, but they can be easeful and not forceful when we put the right pieces in place. Okay, let me check the chat here. Shaya, I need to work on number 3. What was number 3? I just want to see. Yeah, make it an obvious choice. Yeah, make it an obvious choice for anyone else like that's resonating with. That's really a lot of messaging. It's a lot of branding, and it's a lot of positioning, which I know are words that are like very big umbrellas. But that's really what I'd start to dive into with number 3. Yes, Brittany, I have done this with a few people in a women's circle, and they're so grateful I thought of them. Yeah, right. Like people will I literally have people thank me for selling to them because it's done in such a genuine way. And this really comes where your integrity, comes into your business here. And we're not getting desperate for the sale. We're really living in this place of abundance of like, I'm selling to the right people who need me, and based off relationships. And when it's not the right time, there are certain times to overcome objections and certain times to, let it be and follow up later. Love that. Okay, last step for you guys. And then we will finish things off just talking about like the 3 magic secret weapons you can use on top of all of this. Okay, so deliver. So this is the part I told you that a lot of people I feel like are not really focusing on. So I'd be interested to hear from y'all. If you can comment in the chat and tell me, is delivering, is this something that you've heard people talk about? Is this something that you have, you've worked on very intentionally or not? No right or wrong answer, no judgment. I'm actually just really curious. And when I say delivering, I mean like the client experience and really working on not just getting that client, right? Like, oh my God, I have to get a client, but like what happens afterwards? Is this something you guys have worked on? Let me know in the chat or hand raises here. Could improve, not something I've worked on a ton. Okay. Yeah, keep letting me know. It's just something I find a lot of people just haven't put a lot of intention to, and it can be just as important as the other things. So when we talk about delivering a 6-figure business, right? Because as of today, all of y'all from the beginning, right? We are treating this like a 6-figure business, no more half-ass, no more side hustle. Like this is real. You get to decide this is real today, right? So a 6-figure business is not just a fluke, right? It's not just a one-off. We're not just making money online. You're building a brand, you're building something that's lasting, that's bigger than you. And so it also means consistency, and it also means holding this long-term vision. And I'll tell you guys right now, the most valuable thing that you can build is your brand reputation, okay? Most valuable thing you can build is your brand reputation. So all these action steps we're talking about 100% are going to help you get to that 6-figure mark. But if you want to keep going, if you want this to be what you're, something of the realm you're doing in 10 years, if you want people to come back and client retention and all these other things we haven't even talked about, your brand reputation is everything. And so a huge part of this momentum and building that brand reputation is what happens after someone has taken this risk investing in you, right? What happens when they hit purchase? What happens when they're in the middle of the project with you? Does it feel messy and unorganized? Do they feel like you don't really care about them? Are they getting their questions answered? Is it everything that they were promised in the marketing, right? Because we can be good at marketing, but if you don't deliver, shit's not gonna go well. So this is what I mean by really working on delivering. Now, when I say this, I don't want you to get intimidated and go back to that lack mindset of, I don't have the experience, right? Or I don't have enough experience, because we can still be an authority, own our level, and deliver the shit out of that level, right? Not just in our marketing, but in our delivery, right? So this does not mean we need years of experience. This does not mean to have good delivery and client experience that we need months and months and months of making everything perfect, right? Part of this is how you approach things. Part of this is being intentional and knowing what's happening, right? And showing up like you are that six-figure business owner as you're delivering and working with these clients. We can be professional and in this six-figure business owner, and we can be, chill and whatever vibe our brand is at the same time, right? I'm sitting here talking to you guys very casually. I've said, shit and fucking, all of these things. I have my glasses on. I'm not necessarily all done up, right? But I'm still showing up like I know what I'm doing. I'm delivering to you guys exactly what you're promised, right? So this duality can exist in the online space. So what is important to remember here, action steps with this, is we want to know what is the transformation that you are selling to someone, right? A lot of people get held up because they're actually not clear themselves on what the transformation is, what it looks like when someone says yes and starts to pay. And so that, whether conscious or subconscious, is going to affect your marketing. It's going to affect your sales process because you're not going to sell. You're going to hold yourself back when you're like, oh my God, I don't actually want that client because I'm scared of what will happen because I don't know how to deliver. So we have to get clear on this. And again, it's a cycle. It's going to keep fueling it, right? And we need to learn how to deliver and achieve those results. The other thing to remember is that people are buying a vision. Okay. So people are buying a vision, a result. They are buying essentially a desire that they have that's typically a ripple effect of the literal thing you provide. Okay. So what I mean by this, when someone buys a website, let's say you're a designer, they bought a web design package, right? They're not just buying the website, you guys. They're buying what the website does for them, okay? They're buying a place for them to make more sales. They don't just want a website to sit up there and look pretty, right? They're buying a place online for them to feel confident showing off to people, right? They're buying time that they can spend doing something else because they don't want to design the damn website, right? So it's up to you to really put intention and effort into the delivery of the results and creating this experience that people are going to feel throughout it. And this is going to fuel your brand and more clients to come, right? We're continuing the cycle. Give me a thumbs up if this is making sense. Also, I see a couple of y'all raising hands. If you're raising a hand just to say yes, loving it, that's good. If you have a question, please put it in the chat. Yes, thumbs up. Okay, beautiful. Yeah, I always feel the pressure to deliver because it comes back to me as an individual freelancer. Yeah, Abby. So I think that's a big shift between freelancer and business owner as well, is that with being a freelancer, it's less about the client experience, right? It definitely can matter too. You always want to have good relationships, but it's so much more about like, hey, you can pay me to design whatever you want and pay me X amount of dollars per hour and I'll design for 2 hours for you, right? And whereas when you have a business and a brand and you have set packages that you're becoming known for and people are coming back to, right? You really have to consider this so much more. And I promise it's not as intimidating as it looks, but these are all the things that, to be honest, are going to make you get to that six figures, right? Today, we didn't talk about tech. We didn't talk about you building your own perfect website. We didn't talk about some of these other things that absolutely are going to be a part of sustaining your business and continuing to scale. But these 5 things here are what are going to be the absolute most needle moving things for you to focus on, right? Transformation you provide. Yep. Expectation you're giving the client. Expectations are so important. I could probably talk to you guys about like an hour just on expectations and how we put that in our business. Okay. So last little part for you guys. So start thinking too of any questions that you have. I love taking questions at the end and just hearing, kind of what's resonating with you most. And then we'll just put all this into some action steps for y'all. So last thing is we looked at these 5 steps, right? Of really what you need to focus on, and whether they seem simple or whether it's like, oh my gosh, that feels like a lot, like whatever it is, those are, I promise you, the things that if you're really executing in the way that I talked about, you are going to build momentum and start seeing sales. But there is an area where you could be doing most, if not maybe even all of those things and still not seeing the momentum that you want. Okay. It means you're probably making some sales, but you're probably not, it might feel hard. It might feel forced. It might not be happening as fast as you want. Right. So this is what I mean by magic dust, magic, I don't know, magic secret weapons, for whatever we want to call it. Right. These are the 3 things. So these are going to be your mindset, and essentially getting out of your own way. Okay, we're going to have a vulnerability moment, so get your typing fingers ready here for just a minute. Also your personal brand, aka the literal thing that makes you stand out and why people buy from you, right? If you craft an amazing web design offer and you get in front of certain people and you are creating good content and maybe you're even selling, guess what? That doesn't always make you stand out. That doesn't always make you the go-to person that people feel connected to, that people want to buy from. They want to be in your energy, right? That's your personal brand. That's not any certain thing of just like more action steps that you can do. That needs to be woven into all of these action steps that we talked about, right? And the last one is going to be action. So if you're serious about wanting to be your own boss, whether you want to travel the world or not, right? But be making these like 10 to 5 to 10 to even like 50K months, right? And really completely change your reality, you have to take radical responsibility for the control that you have over your mind and your actions, okay? And thus your future. We sit here and a lot of these secret weapons are actually the things that hold us back because we're not taking radical responsibility. And this is the stuff that, to be honest, probably isn't in a lot of masterclasses or webinars because it's sometimes the thing that you don't want to hear, but it is the thing that's going to make the difference, right? So whether you right now are like, or whether you in 6 months from now are booked out with clients and maybe about a one-way ticket to Thailand, or whether you are in whatever same spot you're in right now, that's completely up to you. And that's the hard truth that most people probably won't tell you. What I mean by this is it's all a conscious decision that you're going to have to make to move forward right now, despite things not being ideal, whatever it is that's coming up for you, right? Despite lack of clarity. Guess what? In entrepreneurship, we can literally never see the full path in front of us. Unfortunately, that's just how it is, right? And despite any of these limiting beliefs holding us back, it's about taking radical responsibility that every day you choose, and you can choose differently and you can choose again tomorrow, but every day you choose what you do. Quite literally, you choose to get up and go to your 9 to 5 every single morning. You could choose not to. Now, I'm not telling you tomorrow to say, all right, I'm done. I'm not going into work, right? But you choose. And you have to recognize that radical responsibility and choice that you have in order to really harness this power of these secret weapons that I'm talking about, owning your personal brand, getting out of your own way with your mindset, and actually taking action, okay? So here's where I want to hear from you guys. I'm going to quickly go over 5 very common mindset blocks that I see actually holding new entrepreneurs back. And I'm going to give you a little new way that we can think about this. So as I go through these 5, I want to hear from you which of these resonate with you most. And this would be a good time too to take some of these notes, okay? So number 1, let me know in the chat if you have ever felt this way of I don't know enough or I don't have enough experience. This is something that people say to themselves a lot as far as like why they can't move forward, why I can't start the business yet, why it's not the best time. Or maybe you have started the business, but you are playing small. Maybe you are just having this one offer and we're not playing big enough because we feel like we don't know enough, right? This could be a limiting belief, not just for a new entrepreneur, literally for me, literally for a multiple 8-figure entrepreneur, right? Are you playing small? So here's how we overcome this, okay? You can learn. It's a great thing about this online space, right? You can learn anything. Who you are, what you know, what defines you, your personality traits, all of this, you can change, you can evolve, you can learn new things. So this is quite literally just not an excuse at all. It is a limiting belief that keeps you in pause mode. Get curious, get resourceful. Your number 1 question should just be how. Be like, oh, I don't feel like I know enough. Okay, well, how? How can you learn more? How can you learn that thing? What's going to make you feel like you do know enough? What's going to be really exciting? Okay, how do I learn that, right? I'm telling you, simple, but this is no longer an excuse. It will keep you exactly where you are, right? So remember what we talked about earlier, authority versus expert. People don't hire you in the online space like they do in the corporate world. They don't hire you because you have years of experience and a fancy degree on a piece of paper. They hire you because you deliver, because they connect with your personal brand, and they hire you because you help solve a problem, okay? You help save them time. You don't even have to know more than them, right? My VA probably doesn't necessarily know more than me, but y'all, she is my best asset. I couldn't run this business without her, right? I happily pay her every month because she saves me a lot of time and effort. Okay. So it's not about knowing more. It's not always about, not having these years of experience. Okay. Number 2, let me see. All my learning has come from the journey. Yep. And taking action. Yep. That is my trick. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, good. I'm glad number 1 was resonating. Okay, number 2, the market is too saturated. Let me know in the chat who has said this one, who has felt this way. So this right here, this is coming from a scarcity mindset, okay? Quite frankly, there are 8 billion, I'm pretty sure it's 8 billion, 8 billion people in this world. There are, I did look this one up, there are over 1 billion monthly active users just on Instagram, which is probably where a lot of you are starting to build your businesses, okay? There are more than enough clients out there for you. And this online space is literally just the beginning, you guys. I got into this space, I started my business 2 years ago. And let me tell you, this space has already grown so much. And yet at the same time, this is a small corner of the internet. I know a lot of the people in this space, and that's because it's literally the beginning, right? Like all of these coachings and programs and courses, they were not like this even 5 years ago. Did some exist? Of course. But I am telling you right now, there has literally never been a better time to start your own online business, remote work, especially thanks to the past year, right? It is going to be the new norm in 5 to 10 years, maybe less, right? More and more countries are introducing co-working spaces and digital nomad visas. Freelancing and small business owners are on the rise, especially female, right? And the more business owners there are, the more we need each other, right? If there's more coaches, they need more VAs and designers. And if there's more designers, they need more copywriters and VAs, right? We literally all rise together. But the more of us there are, the more we all have to help each other to run this whole shebang, right? So social media is also the cornerstone of all this, how you guys are right now, like learning to build these online businesses. So this is quite literally the beginning. I want you right now to squash this and never say this again. Catch yourself when it comes up and you're like, nope, that's not true, right? Here's evidence why. This is going to come down though to 2 things. Your outlook, right? You can view this as hard of like, oh, the market's a little bit too saturated, right? And then you can stay where you are, or you can say, it might be saturated, but whether it's true or not, I'm jumping in anyways, right? Because guess what? Someone's going to land those clients tomorrow, and it's either going to be you or someone else. Okay. The other big thing to remember here is branding. Your brand is why the market is never too saturated, because you can show up on the scene tomorrow and you're going to connect with certain people that I'm not going to connect with, and they're going to choose you over me. Okay. Next piece here. Number 3. Let me know in the chat if you have said number 3, I don't know what to do, or I have too many ideas. All of this is kind of like this overwhelm, this paralyzed feeling, right? I don't know what to do. I got too many ideas. I'm all over the place. I feel like this is an automatic, everyone. You've just been like scattered shiny object syndrome, right? Like any of these things. Okay. So if you have felt this one, imposter syndrome, or shiny object syndrome, or staying scattered, this is going to come down to 2 things, okay, to overcome this. It is a choice and it is priorities, okay? So you have to pick one thing to stick with and narrow your focus. If you are spinning your wheels and not getting anywhere, it's because we're overthinking, or if we are taking action, we're trying to do all of the things. If you are passionate, multi-passionate, you want to do a podcast and YouTube and all these things, girl, I am cheering you on. I want you to do all those things, but I'm telling you right now, you can do it all, but you can't do it all now. Okay. It's not no, it's later. But you won't get anywhere if you don't pick one thing, narrow your focus, and remember that we always have power of choice. So tomorrow you can choose again. You can choose differently if you don't like what you chose yesterday, but you have to choose and decide and pick to move forward, okay? You also have a choice to get a roadmap rather than staying stuck and scattered, okay? That's a choice. Okay. No matter what excuses we put out there, it is a choice. And that's owning that radical responsibility, right? So if we're stuck in this, then that's a sign we need a roadmap. You also can choose to move forward without seeing the whole path in front of you. So just because you don't know, that's actually not a legitimate reason not to move forward. Sometimes the answer is around the corner. And if you just take one step forward, it all becomes illuminated, right? Staying stuck is also a choice. Every day you choose to either stay the same in what you're doing or not. We think that by not choosing to invest in the program or to show up on stories when we haven't been doing that, we think that by not choosing, we're just kind of like, staying status quo. But in fact, you are making a choice either way. You're making the choice to stay stuck if you are not taking action, okay? This is where radical responsibility comes in, but it's also really fucking powerful. Okay, number 4, fear of failing. Who has a fear of failing, of being public, of being vulnerable, of being visible, and it not working? Yeah, I'm watching the comments here. A couple of you. Okay, so here's the thing. You're going to fail. Okay, not going to bullshit you. You're going to fail, but when I say the word fail, what I mean is things aren't going to go as planned. Okay. So for most of us, when we're looking at failure, you're like, I had this idea. I wanted to get 5 clients at the end of the month, right? What happens if I don't get 5 clients at the month? I'm going to fail, right? What if no one signs up for my launch? I'm going to fail, right? All it is things not going as planned, things not going as we saw them going, right? The true only way to fail is to not take action, right? Because you're going to stay exactly where you are now. It's guaranteed, or to give up. And guess what? Both those are in your power. Both those are a choice, right? That you get to choose 100% completely in your control. So failing is literally impossible unless you do not take action or you give up. Failing in the sense of things not working out is actually not bad either, right? If you're not failing, honestly, you're not making big enough moves to make this a thing, right? Like we're a 6-figure business owner now. This is fucking legit. This is a legit business. If you're not failing, you're not taking big enough risks, okay? You have to take big moves to get big results. Everything I've tried, I have failed so many times, you guys. It might not always be seen on Instagram, but I promise you I have. And the only way that you figure out what's big, what's the next big thing, what works, what doesn't work is by trying, right? So we really have to get out of this mindset. It's really dangerous. Okay, last one. I saved the best for last. Raise your hand. Give me something in the chat here. This is like a hallelujah one. If you have said, I don't have time or money, right? I'm like, what? Watching the hands raise. Okay. So this is actually mostly not about the time or the money, which might be something you've heard before. This is honestly mostly the fear of, will I make it? Will it be worth the risk? Okay, think about it for a minute. I don't have the time right now, right? I don't have the money. I don't have the money, like, whatever. Guess what? It is the fear of, will I make it or will it be worth it? Because if you were guaranteed, if you knew for sure that in a year from now, you would have a 6-figure business, be your own boss, quit your job, and be traveling the world, and you were in the exact same situation right now where you're saying you don't have time or money, would it not be a no-brainer to say, nah, screw all these other things I'm spending my time on? It's a guarantee that I'm having this freaking amazing new reality next year. Priority, bam, all these other things go out of the way, right? It's a guarantee that I'm going to have this amazing new reality a year from now, right? Bam, invest my last dollar, right? Now, I'm not necessarily saying everyone go invest your last dollar, right? But this is really, really big because, again, it comes back to a choice. So if this really looks at the limiting belief of, is it worth the risk? And that means, what is a priority to you and what do you believe is possible? Because if you believe that your success was inevitable and you believed that it is possible to make 6 figures, and I'm not talking about some bullshit like, yeah, Amanda, I believe. I mean, like at your core, you're like, no, I know it. I know this is freaking possible and it's going to happen for me. I mean, like convicted beliefs inside of you, right? If you believe your success is inevitable and that you're going to have a 6-figure business and be able to quit your job by next year, it is a no-brainer to invest in the things that you need to support yourself to get there ASAP, right? you're going to look at this risk a lot differently. All of a sudden you've got the time and you've got the money, right? So to me, what's riskier is being exactly where I am now when I wasted an entire year because of swirling thoughts and fears, right? You know, this right here is the one line I told myself when I quit my corporate job, which was a high paying 6-figure job that everyone thought I was crazy for at the age of very, very young, right? I just told myself simply, everyone might think I'm crazy, but I know this is possible. I know I'm going to have a successful 6-7-figure business. And I knew this one thing. I know exactly what I have right now, right? This corporate job, this routine of what I have, even the 6-figure salary, right? And I said, I can get it again, right? I can always come back to what I have now. I know what I have now, but if I don't try something different, then I'm going to regret it, right? I'm never going to know what's possible, but we always can come back to what we have now. I guarantee it, right? So again, the obvious choice to take the risk and move forward. So really reframe here what safety is, right? What's safer? Living in this salary of this day-to-day existence that you're not actually living a life, because if you're here, I'm guessing that's not what you want, right? And at any moment, something that is out of your control, someone could fire you, it's all taken away, right? We think that like these salary jobs are the safety, this epitome, right? When in actuality, does that feel safer? Or does building a brand and a set of business skills, well, one business idea might not work out right, but the brand and the business skills, no one can take away from you. That's 100% in your control. No one can one day decide that you're fired or that things aren't going to be the same anymore, right? Which one actually feels safer, right? Which one is worth the risk? We can always go back to what we have now. Okay. So with that being said, we're wrapping things up here. I know we are right a little bit over the hour mark here, and I'm gonna leave some time for Q&A. So I appreciate you guys hanging around with us still. So I want to put this into context, right? Into reality. So Emily was a past Laptop Lifestyle Bootcamp client. She had no confidence in herself, right? And she's the one that wrote this and said this, right? She said, I did not really believe that I could actually start a business, right? She was kind of in that freelancer mode. She was like, yeah, you know, I can do it. They can do it too. She didn't really believe it. Thought it was for other people, saw it as other, right? But after we worked in Laptop Lifestyle Bootcamp on defining her new identity, challenging inner beliefs, gaining confidence through taking action and proving like, oh my gosh, she can do this. Like it's actually possible. She is literally a night and day difference now, has a thriving business, shows up with so much more confidence. It's insane, right? And now this is what she does full time, right? Living her dream life. This is Aelith as well. This is one of my favorite stories because I didn't actually know this until after she finished Laptop Lifestyle Bootcamp. First, she said, first week, everything changed, right? I'm telling y'all, we hit the ground running in Laptop Lifestyle Bootcamp. She said her confidence soared. I literally understood that I was capable of anything. And you guys, that is more powerful than any tactic or strategy that I can give you. But here's what's super interesting. She said she had been waiting for 15 years, you guys, for this aha moment of what to do with her career in life. And she finally just said, fuck it, and joined LLB, right? And she figured it out within the first few weeks, like all of this clarity and momentum. And she's now doing what she loves every day. Massive confidence. Like you guys should go follow her. She has amazing reels. But 15 years she could have already been living that life had she just jumped in sooner without all the clarity, right? Feel so much more confident, you know, got over my fear of selling, all of these good stuff. So we talked about these mindset shifts, right? This is going to be a secret weapon on top of those action steps we talked about. I also mentioned your personal brand as another one of these like magic dust secret weapon. And I kind of mentioned this before, so I'll be brief with this one, but why your personal brand is a, you know, second secret weapon is because essentially your personal brand is this umbrella through which you can offer anything. Okay. You can offer products, courses. You could have 5 different businesses. You're going to evolve and shift whether you plan on it or not. So you're literally never stuck when you build a personal brand, right? And the stronger that you build this personal brand, the more you can leverage it for anything you want in the future. So quite literally a personal brand, it's not only the magic on top that's going to make people buy from you and make things stand out and all of this, but it's almost like becoming limitless and future proof for forever, right? And that's one reason we really focus on establishing brands. And this can be a personal brand or, you know, an agency brand or whatnot inside of LLB, because there's a million VAs, a million coaches, right? But the message that your brand represents, right? The action, the energy of everything that you do online as the brand, like that is what tips people over the edge. That's what makes people feel like, oh my gosh, I have to be with this person. I have to work with this person or have that offer, right? So while I could tell you to go through like all of those 5 steps that we talked about alone, making the offer, generating leads, all this stuff, right? The motions and the strategies are needed, but they alone will not build a lasting 6-figure business without you getting out of your own way, mindset wise, right? And building a brand. And then last thing here is taking action. So just like we talked about before, if you have all the answers, if you have all the information in front of you, let's say you even work on your mindset, none of this works if you do not do anything. And I know that seems really obvious, but so many people will sign up for a course or this or that, or they'll attend this masterclass. And honestly, guys, this masterclass isn't going to do shit for you unless you go do something with it. I'm going to be very honest. Okay. You have to unapologetically take action with the fear, with the lack of the full clarity of where you're going, right? And rely on yourself. And remember this belief that my success is inevitable, and truly believe it, right? But the ones that see success are the action takers, the ones that continually are pushing their comfort zone to do it anyways, right? So as long as you're willing to put in the work and push through these fears and really, start taking action with all of this, then your success is inevitable, right? There's literally no way that you can fail here. So I am very, very confident that I can help you guys not only through this training, but continuing to work together to build a 6-figure business where you have complete freedom, autonomy over your life based on what you have started to learn today. And also because I have helped literally hundreds of clients build 6 and multi-6-figure businesses starting based on this information. So I wanted to give you a quick summary because I know we've covered a lot today. I know this is very, very dense and jam-packed, but we talked about why you're 100% on the right path building a service-based business, right? The best thing that we can get started with. You've seen through countless examples, right? This works for anyone. Like you can make 6 figures. We've talked about the 5-step cycle to build the business and the 3 magic dust secret weapon elements and how to really get out of your own way. So 90-day game plan here. You have 2 options that I'm going to discuss with you, and then we will take questions so you can start thinking of those here. Let me just check the chat really fast. Struggle with confidence. So many people really struggle with that confidence there. And it's something that it's not an easy fix, right? But it's something that like the energy, the people you're surrounded by, like really working on this, I am telling you right now, it's magic, right? It is magic what a difference it makes in the same actions that you're doing maybe before versus after. Okay. So 90-day game plan for you. I want you to focus on these 5 things. First off, right? The 5 areas, and not get bogged down by all these opinions, not get bogged down by all these other things that you think you should be doing, right? Focus on those 5 things, as well as the magic dust secret weapon items, right? Now to actually execute those, you have 2 options, right? It's honestly pretty simple. You can do it yourself, or you can figure out a roadmap to be able to follow. There's honestly not really any other option. Okay. So if you're DIYing things, that essentially is like downloading freebies, consuming endless trainings, spending hours on Google, like all of these things. And I'm going to be honest, you can probably find a lot of good information, right? But here's the truth. When you DIY things, you're either going to stay scattered. It is going to take you years. You're going to keep getting shiny object syndrome because there's no one clear like path to follow. And there's so many different ways to build a business. There's not just one, right? You're also going to lose valuable time and money. And to be honest, you will most likely get to a point where you either burn out or give up. And remember, the literal only way to fail is to give up, is to stop. And so when in actuality, you do not have to suffer through all this. Going back to radical responsibility, it is a choice. You are at a fork in the road, not to be cliche, but you get to choose an easier path if you want, right? And it's really, a lot of it's based on this mindset of success. Like this is the single thing that is going to make the biggest difference, is that if you see the success is inevitable, it is a no-brainer to not DIY things and waste all this time when you know that your success is inevitable, right? But you cannot get results with freebies and free trainings and Googling. No one has ever done it. No successful entrepreneur that you see or that you look up to, no one has gotten to where they are because of freebies and Googling. I promise you. It's not an if, it's just a when are you going to get serious about treating this like a business and go all in and give yourself what you need. Okay, that's a really important question. You've probably heard me say it a couple of times now, but asking yourself, what do I need to thrive? What do I need to be my best and to achieve the things that I want? Because if we don't give ourselves what we need, we're staying stuck, we're staying struggling, right? And I really don't want you to have to DIY things or piece all these little things together, right? And figure this out, which is why very much so, the better option is to get some sort of roadmap. So I want to invite all of you here with me to join my signature group coaching program, which is Laptop Lifestyle Bootcamp. If you haven't heard of it, I'm going to give you a little bit of details about it, but essentially it is the #1 go-to business foundations group coaching program for new entrepreneurs. So essentially what we focus on is laying 6-figure foundations, just like we've talked about today, but even more extensively, helping you scale to 5K months and create a freedom lifestyle. It is a very customized and hands-on program. We've worked with over 200 students from all over the world. I think it's over like 25 different countries now. And we've revamped this program so many times. This is like almost 90% of our main focus as a business. This is not just like some other offer that we offer. Like this is my world, is my Laptop Lifestyle Bootcamp fam and this program, and making sure that the people inside of this actually have the tools they need for success, because so many basic biz courses and all of this stuff don't set new entrepreneurs up for success. And I am so tired of people wanting this dream and then buying some BS program and getting burned out because it didn't work for them. So many people don't actually give new entrepreneurs the things that they need to skyrocket forward. And that is what we are literally all about. So here's what you do not need. You do not need an Instagram course. This is just going to teach you like one piece of the puzzle, right? You don't need a one-on-one coach. I know this one might sound a little weird to say coming from a coach, but as a new entrepreneur, there's so much information to learn that honestly you do need to learn. And there's so many like templates and resources and all of this stuff to get everything set up and going, that a one-on-one coach, while they are amazing for so many reasons, you do not have the time in one-on-one sessions to actually learn and get all these resources that you need. That is why this is a group program. It combines the course and the materials, but it also combines the customized coaching, right? You also don't need a basic business course. There are countless, I can't tell you how many surface level basic courses out there, and they don't actually teach what you need to be able to set up a sustainable, successful 6-figure business and skyrocket forward. Plus, a lot of courses are cookie cutter. So even if it's a good course, without the input of a coach, and of a community to ask questions, you're going to still feel lost with all the information, which is why I'm very heavily against new entrepreneurs just buying courses, because you need someone to help you sort through all your thoughts and figure out something that's going to work for you, right? We also don't need a fancy website. This is coming from a web designer. Trust me, they are important. There's a lot of good things to it, but it's not where you should be spending your time right now, okay? You do need 6-figure foundations. This does not mean basic. This means actual foundations for you to get to the next level, right? You need a community. I cannot tell you how many people don't think they need this. And after Laptop Lifestyle Bootcamp, this is the #1 thing that everyone says is the most valuable thing that they ever got, because it also lasts forever, right? Like I can't take that away from you. Custom coaching support you do need as a new entrepreneur, right? To figure out how to apply the information to you. Templates and resources. I'm telling you right now, there's never going to be a phase again in your business like this new building phase, where you can save literally months, if not years of time having to create all this stuff that we provide for you. And you just need someone who cares, honestly. That's the thing I'm most passionate about. It's a very big value of mine in all of my programs, because I've been in so many programs where they just quite frankly didn't give a shit about you. And I check in with every single person in this program. I'm in there every single day, and I'm very invested in your success and what you're working on. So like we were saying, you can fast track this whole process. This is Melissa. She was in Laptop Lifestyle Bootcamp. She said she accomplished more than 4 weeks. So just the first 4 weeks of the program, than she did in 2 years trying to DIY everything on her own. She landed 4 dream clients in just 1 week. And now she's full-time in her business. She's evolved and grown. She was in copywriting, now coaching. Like she has done so much over the past year now. This is Dania. She actually had literally no clients, no direction, right? She ended up losing her job. And within 3 weeks, thankfully, she was an LLB, right? Because losing her job is not something we have control over. So within 3 weeks, she launched her business. She made, 5 figures. She secured 6 months of recurring revenue. She is trying to book that flight to Thailand once the world will let her, right? But this is just absolutely insane. And this is a community here that I'm talking about, right? These are all quotes from all of these different students of just literally they stay in touch every single week. Most valued thing is a community. And I have not found something like this that is like this involved. Whereas a lot of programs like say, they have a community, but like it's actual lifelong friends, like getting together, going to meetups. We just had 2 girls in Seattle, went and got coffee, and now, they're friends in Seattle. So it is quite literally, I almost hate this every time I do it, but the number one word to describe LOE is life-changing. Because while I'm helping y'all build a business, like y'all want this because you want freedom, right? Whatever that looks like to you, to travel the world, to escape your 9 to 5, to stay home with your kids, whatever that looks like. And quite literally, when you build a business like this and it starts to generate revenue and create time freedom and all these things, like it's life-changing, right? And it's not just a business program like we were talking about, like this is a global community. I also don't know if any programs that are truly on this global scale, and it makes it so cool, the types of conversations we have, the people you get to connect with, and just this network that we end up building all over the world that you get to be a part of. So I wanted to show you guys just kind of what this looks like as you sign up for Laptop Lifestyle Bootcamp. So as soon as, just because like who doesn't want to see behind the scenes look, right? So the moment that you sign up, so you're going to see this page here. It's taking a minute to load. And then you'll see this thank you page. You can shout us out on stories. I'm going to start welcoming everyone in, and immediately you will get access to our course hub here. And it has all of these different guest master classes. There's over 30, and they actually teach you skills. Okay. So for all of you who are like, okay, I'm listening to you, I'm going to pick one skill and I'm going to build the business, because that's definitely what we should be doing. You also get access to all these skills like building a wireframe, social media management, video editing, YouTube SEO, copywriting skills, NLP coaching. These are actual skills training for you to continue evolve. And then you'll also get access to the pre-work that helps you really nail down what skills you're going to be offering and fine tuning within your business. And you'll also get an intake form for us to learn a little bit more information about you. So the next big piece here is what's actually included. So you do get the core curriculum, and we walk through a lot of it together, and we give you an exact roadmap so you know what to focus on every single week. You'll also get weekly group coaching calls for, forever and always inside of the 4 months that you're there. We have a private Slack community. I'm in there every single day, Monday through Friday. You always get a response within 24 hours. A lot of like high level masterminds do not even get that type of support, you guys. You also get a resource library. I think there's more than 30 for sure at this point, probably over 50, but we have swipe files, templates, cheat sheets, all of this stuff for everything from onboarding email sequences to social media data to email templates for, freebie funnels, like all of that jazz, and our recorded guest coach masterclass. And then the things that we're really going to walk through in the material are going to be mindset and foundations, establishing your personal brand. We've talked how important that is, your niche, your ideal client, really getting really clear, super in-depth into this. Again, none of this stuff is basic or surface level. We do offer suite. And one thing that I have literally never seen done, especially for a new program, is package audits. So you will essentially create an entire offer suite, which is multiple offers that really strategically go off of each other. You will get to submit it to actually have in-depth feedback commented all over the place to make sure that you are confident as fuck about the offers that you are offering moving forward and make sure that they're serving you. We also have pricing and money management, because that's huge. Social media and content creation, we go really in depth there. Email marketing and freebies, sales and lead gen, discovery calls and objections. So we're going to help you become a sales master at all of these pieces of sales. We do a lot of, like I was saying, hot seat coaching. We do cover tech and systems very in depth. So we probably have over anywhere from like 10 to 20, maybe more tech tutorials of everything you could think online. So there is no Googling, there is no wondering which one should I use, how do I set it up. We have live tech workshops that my team runs to help you share your screen and figure out what to do. We do work on client experience like we talked about today. Your visual branding and website eventually will come as well, and all of your time and project management. A couple of the other extras, and again, if you have any questions too, you can start popping them in the chat, whether they're about Laptop Lifestyle Bootcamp or about the training that we had. I would love to start answering those. And I'm also putting the link to Laptop Lifestyle Bootcamp in the chat here for anyone wanting to go check out all those details. We also have a lot of hands-on extras. So we have networking events, one-on-one package audits, like I said, we have tech workshops, co-working sessions. We have challenges, and they actually have like prizes, like we're working on sales challenges, social media challenges, reels challenges, all of this different stuff together. Like this is a fun place to be and a place where you see results. So by the end of our 4 months working together, you will have a fully set up operating business, be landing dream clients, have 110% of this confidence and clarity of what you're doing and moving forward. You're going to have a group of biz besties that, again, everyone stays together even after the program's ends. You will save yourself so much time I can't even explain. And like you saw before, completely change your life. Many of you will quit your 9-to-5. Maybe by then we can all head to Thailand together. Like all of these things are real results from people that have gone through the program. So you also get some bonuses. Like I said, there's over 50 templates and resources. These are just a game changer for y'all. Over 30 guest masterclass vault. So as you can see, if you follow a lot of people like on Instagram and in this online space, these are some really big names that would normally cost hundreds, thousands of dollars to get their expertise in front of you and connect with them. We have Dubsado and tech tutorial trainings. You actually get an entire Pinterest mini course for either you to use in your business, or you can offer this as a skill if you want. We also do legals, taxes, and budgeting masterclass. It might not be fun and sexy, but it's very important. And because you're in the Laptop Lifestyle Bootcamp, even if you don't want to travel, you get this as a bonus. It's the ultimate laptop lifestyle guide with all of my 3 years of experience. This is a really thick guide of like visas and countries and things to look for and like all of that jazz. So this is Zara as well. And she was in a space that I think a lot of you might be in where, you know, she had no clue what she wanted to do when she joined LB. She's just like, I know that I want to be my own boss. I know that I want to do this, right? And so the minute she got into LB, she actually, before we even started, watched all those masterclasses in the pre-work. And it was like this light bulb, right? She decided she wanted to be an OBM, which is an online business manager. She went through the program. She actually continued to evolve and realize more of what she wanted. She ended up pivoting 3 times, which is very normal. But when you don't have the support and community, that's when we get scared and lost and we feel like we're doing it wrong and all these things. And she stuck with it. She was so persistent in taking action. She made over 10K in sales in her first 3 months, right? After LB Domatil, she made 2K cash her very first month in business, right? Literally paid for everything. And she ended up securing 6 months of recurring revenue. So that's one thing we talk about, right? Where we want long-term sustainable businesses. I don't want to help you just make $1,000 now. I want to help you start to build up this revenue that's coming in consistently, creating no worries, right? So really just remember, this program is designed and set up to help you figure everything out from A to Z, whether you just barely have an idea or whether you have been taking clients for 1-2 years, right? But we're kind of stuck in this freelancer mode. And in those first 30 days, we even help you hit the ground running with your offer, your brand, ideal client, like all of these things. So it's very specifically for you. If you're a new or aspiring entrepreneur, you're really in this for the long haul, right? Like you've decided, I am a 6-figure business owner now. You've got ideas, but you need the action steps. That's what we're all about. You obviously don't belong in the corporate world. You're just ready to go all in. You want some sort of laptop lifestyle, whatever that looks like to you. And you're also tired of doing this alone, right? And just feeling overwhelmed all the time. So we have some fast action bonuses for those of you that do decide to join us in the next 48 hours, because as you guys have seen, it might sound cliche, but action is what creates results. So we want to reward those of you that are just like ready to go all in on this. So you can use the code FAST ACTION with the link that I just put in the chat there. It's also at the bottom of the page. You'll get $250 off, and that's any payment plan. You'll also get a free show it website template. And this is a bonus we've actually never offered before, but you will get my entire mini course, the content kit, which is an even more in-depth, all these systems and processes of how to create content that converts. So you will also get that for free. And for those of you that decide you're like, hell yes, I'm in, I'm doing this. Like I felt that energy, right? If you sign up in the next 20 minutes, you'll get an exclusive webinar bonus. That's 2 private coaching calls with one of our support coaches. And I honestly forgot to put some of the testimonials up here, but the girls love these. Like these are so helpful to be able to have that little bit of one-on-one extra support on top of course, all the support that you get in the program. I have a timer starting here now for when this one expires. You don't need an extra code for this. But if you sign up in the next 20 minutes, you will automatically get that. We'll email you about it. So the best news is that I'm very passionate about this program being really accessible, because I know that this is meant for new entrepreneurs and it can feel really scary to invest in yourself and go all in. I have done everything possible to make this program so accessible for everyone to be able to start today, jump all in, and you could start paying for this program with literally less than 1 client per month. If you have 1 client making, $500, a lot of clients you guys will be more than $500 a month, more than covers this. It's so doable if you just really work on that mindset of knowing your success is inevitable when you are in these hands and you take these actions, and you've seen so many clients have these same results. So you can join us today for $297. That's what we start things at. And in fact, if you use the $250 off, it's less than this too today. So at this point, and I'm about to head to the chat here to see your questions, but at this point, I think I'm going to be very honest. You probably are convinced that like, this is a bomb program, right? Like, look at all this stuff, all these people that have gone through it. But if there is any hesitation, I'm assuming it's because in your head, you're kind of like, oh, is it worth it? This is scary to invest, to go all in. So I just wanted to show you a couple like real people. They had these exact same fears and just what they had to say after going through it. Just don't hesitate. Literally the best investment I've made. Before the program, wasn't sure if I can do this. Now there's no shadow of a doubt. Jenny has gone on. She is like such a leader in her space of productivity coaching. Stephanie, she said, LB has made the biggest impact on my life and business. No amount of freebies can do this for you. Again, talking about the relationships and community, but mostly saying, take it from someone who tried. You cannot do this alone. You need LLB. Evan also, she had a huge fear of the expense of investing, right? She hadn't ever done anything like this. And she was quite literally, she said, I was afraid it wouldn't be worth it. And within the first week, she was like, the program was worth every penny, right? I already got all the value that I needed. That's how much we invest into the client experience and the community, and how invested I am in every single one of you that is going to join us. So if you are ready to quit your 9-to-5, be your own boss, stop spinning your wheels, this is the program for you, right? And a bunch of different courses and templates that you get, well over 6,000, right? For you to have coaching support from someone who is a 7-figure business owner, well over $15,000, right? So everything included, I honestly don't know how much it is, but it is at least $25,000 for all of this. And these are the different payment plans that we have available for you. Like I said, just to really make this accessible for everyone. So you can see all this information on the page as well. So I'm going to minimize this here and move over here. And I'm going to just open up my chat here to start answering some questions for you guys. Let's present this to get this back. So again, this is the 48-hour fast action bonus, the webinar bonus. This meant to say 20 minutes. And what you can join for us today, and you can go to this link here. So I'm going to go to a couple of common questions that I get, and then I will also look at everything here. Can I put the link? Oh, yep. Thank you, Abby, for reposting that. Yep. Such a great presentation. So glad you loved it, Jessica. Yes. Would love to chat. If any of you guys want to chat more about this, I genuinely mean this. Shoot me a DM on Instagram. I promise you this. I am not here to corner you. I am not here to, the minute you message me, be like, oh my gosh, you have to join. In fact, I will tell certain people no, that this is not the right fit for them. So please, if you have questions, don't sit spinning your wheels. If you ask anyone who has gone through this program, they most likely chatted with me in the DMs before asking questions. And that's just one thing that they said was like, it was just so easy and it's so helpful and you don't feel pressured or anything. So Jessica and anyone else, definitely just shoot me a DM. That's going to be the easiest way to get to chat with me. And I'll be hopping in my DMs actually after this. Juliet, the code is not working. Try Fast Action 200. Let me see. If it's not working and you're trying to sign up, shoot me a DM right now and I will make sure it works for you and I'll still give you the bonuses here. I'll just try it right now with you guys. I'll have to ask my team if not. Fast Action. Nope, invalid. Okay. 250. Okay. Well, super sorry. I will ask my team, you guys, what that coupon code is. So just even if you sign up, we'll refund you too. If you want to just go ahead and sign up now. If not, shoot me a DM right now, because what I will do is I'll extend it for an hour after this to still give you the webinar bonuses and all of that. If you sign up within the next hour, as far as DMing me, and I'll give you the correct code, and then I'll update this on our website too. How long is course access? You get lifetime access. It's something we've debated a lot about. So right now you get lifetime access. This is something we might change in the future. But if you sign up now, we'll never take that away from you. So yeah, you get lifetime access. What have you found to work the best in regards for lead generation? So this is really going to vary based on what you're offering and who your ideal client is, Daisy. So the important thing to note here with lead generation is that you have to get in front of your ideal clients, right? So if your ideal clients are hanging out on LinkedIn, then the way that you're going to get in front of them, the way you're going to get visible, it's going to look different. The way you're going to nurture them, it's going to look different. So one way that I love to do things is Instagram DMs. I'm always chatting people, just building relationships. I never quite know what's going to go into a sale or not, right? But I'm always expanding, my pool there. We also generate leads a lot from Facebook ads at this point in my business and funnels for my Facebook group. So there's so many different ways. And that's one thing that we'll work on very in particular in LLB that's like custom to each of you as far as what is going to be the best way to work for you. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. If you guys are all here right now too, you'll get those bonuses that you stayed until the end as well. So would this be appropriate for coaches? 1000%. So that's actually something, I didn't talk a lot about, but essentially this program is for done for you service providers and coaches. So we actually have examples throughout all the modules. We have separate resources for coaches versus done for you. We have different chat groups as well and different calls. Some of them are just for coaches because we talk about coach specific things. Some are for done for you. So we separate everything into creatives, which is designers, copywriters, things like that. And then we have operations, which is going to be like VAs, social media managers, OBMs, things like that. And then we have coach groups. So we have fitness coaches, mindset coaches, business coaches, all those different kinds. And we can help you in any of those sorts of businesses that I listed there. Bookkeepers, things like that. Yes, Abby, would love to have you. Fast action, nope. Fast action is not just for pay in full. That's something also that we feel really passionate about. So the fast action bonus is for any payment plan. It will get divided across a couple of payments, but you'll get the full 250 off literally any single of the payment plans. So yeah, and I will post that. I will email actually every single one of you like in the next 10 minutes, what the new code is. So make sure you're getting my emails, really, really important that they're not going to spam. So two things I will do if you're trying to sign up, since that code isn't working, I will update the website within the next 10-ish minutes. So you'll see it on the top of the banner there. I will extend the webinar bonus for 1 hour. So make sure you have a timer. And if you do want to sign up in the next hour, you'll still get the webinar bonus, and I will send you an email with the new code. Okay. So sorry about that. Things happen, right? So if you guys have any more questions, let me know. I'm going to go over just a couple frequently asked questions that I get, and then we'll close things out if no one has anything else. So a lot of people express is probably the number one thing, right? Is like, what if I'm nervous about the investment, haven't started signing clients yet, maybe. So you guys saw Evan before, right? But she had this exact same fear. And she just said that I learned more than the program was worth literally in week one. These are a bunch of other clients that we've had, and they all said the exact same thing, that when I was talking to them afterwards, they admitted they're like, my biggest fear and holdup was I was hesitant because of the price, right? It was the biggest investment I've made so far. I ended up, she had said I had less than $1,000 in my bank account, right? So Elena ended up raising her prices. She landed 3 dream clients alone before the program ended, and it paid more than paid for the entire thing, right? LLB is worth every penny. Heather, actually, I love when this happens. It happens all the time when you like invest and are on the right path and the universe, brings it all back to you. She said the very next day she landed a client after signing up for LLB, and just that this program is worth so much more. So the other question that I get a lot is, this looks amazing, but I'm too busy right now, right? Like maybe finishing up school, maybe you have kids, whatever it is. And we kind of talked about this before, but this really goes back to what are your priorities, honestly, right? At a certain point, you're going to have to decide, because to be honest, what you think is going to resolve now, like maybe school ends, we don't know what's going to happen, right? And something else is going to fill your time. Something else is going to come up at that certain point in time. And so any of these things, it's going to be a decision, and it's recognizing, what do I have power over? Because just like this, if your job is what's keeping you busy, guess what? You could not have that job tomorrow, right? If your kids are keeping you busy, well, they're not going to turn 18 tomorrow. So for most people anyways, I think, right? And so we really have to look at what is our priority? Where do we want to be in 6 months? And what do we need to start doing now to get where we want to be? Because you don't have to keep living the same day-to-day that you're living now, but it is going to require uncomfortable change. You cannot start living the lifestyle that you want to live by doing the same things you're doing now. It's a bad delusion to live in. Rita also said that this has just changed her life. All the information is insane. She never in a million years just thought that she would be right now, right? And Jackie, this is one of my favorite ones to read. She just said, she's like, this is that year, this is that moment, right? Where you look back and you're like, that was the groundbreaking year. That was the pivoting point, right? Don't you want to look back at this from all the other shit happening this year, that this was your pivoting point to make this all a reality? Lucy, I'm not sure if I missed it. What is the starting day? So Lucy, as soon as you sign up, like literally the next minute, you'll get an email with your intake form and information about our kickoff call and stuff like that, which is on July 19th. So that's when the program actually starts, but you will also get immediate access to our pre-work and the guest vault masterclass to go through before we start on the 19th together. So yeah, let me know if you have any more questions on that. So the other question that I get a lot is, some people will say like, I already covered my brand, or I already covered ideal client before, something like this, right? But obviously you're here, you're still not seeing the results that you want. Then I also have some other people that are like, I don't even have an idea. I don't even know what I want my business to be. I just want a business, right? So I just want to remind you of Alif, right? She literally didn't even have a business concept. All she knew in joining LLB was she knew this was the right path for her, and she knew she wanted to start an online business. And so she struggled for years, right? We remember she said she'd been waiting 15 years for this aha moment. And she said the first week, everything changed, right? She had all of these aha moments, and it's literally me and my support coaches like in your back corner helping you figure this out. We're not having you purchase and sending you into the abyss on your own. The other thing, these are 2 examples of clients that already had clients. They were already rocking and rolling. And they had the objection, literally, they're like, oh, I've already covered ideal client or something like that. But they were still winging it. So Valerie even said, I had a couple of clients, but honestly, there was so much value in the program. It was worth every penny. She completely revamped her entire business. So here's the thing, you don't know what you don't know. And if you're not getting the results that you want, then something has to change. And you probably have not learned the way that we teach ideal client and niching and offer suite and all of these things ever before, right? And we go so in depth into it. Bailey was actually already making 3K months. And again, now she just had her first 15K month. This is only a year later, and changed her entire life and business. So this is the last screen. Just a reminder, I will send those codes right away, and check back on the website. So I'll type it again in the chat here. Check back within the next 10 minutes and that code will be on there. And I will mark it right now, an hour exactly from right now, that the webinar bonuses will still be good. And then of course the 48-hour bonuses, which are in red here, will be good for the next 48 hours. So laptop lifestyle bootcamp, there is the, oops, I typed it privately to someone. Okay, there is the link in the chat, and the code will be posted on the website in about 10 minutes. We will also email you. And other questions here, let me see. Is it suitable for product-based businesses? No, Malika, it is not meant for product-based businesses. So there will be some pieces that are relevant, like social media marketing, but it's not set up for product-based businesses. So I honestly wouldn't recommend joining if you have a product-based business, because we're very focused on your services and how you're delivering, working with clients in a service-based setting. So if you do have a product-based business and you're looking for some help there, I would recommend looking at my Instagram course, which is an advanced sales and marketing Instagram specific course. And that is applicable to product-based businesses. So I'm typing that in the chat here now. And that could be really helpful for you, getting started there. So that'll help with your marketing. Octavia, do you have to do it all in 4 months? No, you can totally finish it up earlier. So that's the thing, is we have people coming in at all different stages. So it's actually really helpful because we have such different dynamic conversations. So we have some people, like I said, that they have come in taking some clients. So immediately we have questions about, how do I manage this client? How do I do this? So they're probably going to move a little bit faster than the person that's coming in still trying to figure out the business idea. Neither is better or worse, right? We help both sorts of people very specifically within the program. But yeah, you can finish it up earlier. You can work through things but you get those full 4 months with us with all the coaching calls and all that, but you'll also get access to the course for life. So there's actually a lot of things within the course that we tell you not to do right now. Like building your own Facebook group. It's not something that most of you are going to do right now, but we put it in there because we want there to be all these little nuggets for you to continue learning from this course, even after those 4 months, as you grow and scale to 6 figures. Is module 2 unlocking after week 1 and the third one? Yeah. So the first 8 weeks, the modules, you'll get the 1 per week. After 8 weeks, you'll get the rest of the entire course, and we help you essentially pick your own path, because not everyone needs to do the exact same thing after you finalize your offers and your brand and your marketing strategies. So after that, then we help you pick your own path to prioritize what's going to be most beneficial for each of you moving forward. The 4-month courses are live online courses. Yep. So there's basically a combination here of, you'll get modules for those first 8 weeks. They're pre-recorded. So you'll get them on Friday evenings so that you can watch them over the weekend. You'll have plenty of time to dive in before that week where we're going to discuss all of it. And then we'll have the live coaching calls every single week, where we are doing live coaching and Q&A and all of that stuff, no question unturned. And then every single day you have the Slack channel. So Monday through Friday, we're answering everything within 24 hours. So you get to ask all of those good questions in between our live coaching calls as well. Yeah, absolutely, Malika. So glad to help. Such good question, guys. I have had so much fun just on this training. And whether you end up joining us for Laptop Lifestyle Bootcamp or not, I really hope you were able to take away some juicy stuff from this training to think about some of your mindset and perspectives on giving yourself the support that you need, whatever that might be, to be able to treat this like a business and really take this seriously and move forward, because I am on a mission to just have as many women as possible be able to create their own wealth and create their own business all over the world. And just one of my favorite pieces of this program is the global community that we have. Obviously, for me as a traveler, it is so much fun, but it's just so amazing to be able to see women from all over the world running businesses in different languages, all this stuff, and you guys getting to be a part of it. So if you have any more questions, let me know. I'll stay on here for another like 2 minutes, and then I will go ahead and close this out. I will send you guys that new code, and it will be posted again on the top of the site, amandacolby.com/laptop-lifestyle-bootcamp. And I will also repost it on my Instagram stories. Octavia, I know this is probably an odd question, but is it possible to change the payment style in the middle of the course? So you can pay if, let's say you choose a 12-month payment plan, 100%. You can just email my team. If you want to pay off the remainder of it, you can totally do that. You can't go backwards though. So obviously if you pay in full, then you're done. But yeah, you can pay it off early. Okay, Marietta. How much hands-on support on legality, setting up your business, and support on taxes? So this is a great question. So I am not a tax professional. I am not a lawyer. So technically, obviously, I can only share my experience and my knowledge, which I do have very good knowledge on, but I am not a legal professional. So we help you guys and direct you to resources. We direct you to actual like lawyers and tax professionals that are going to have to be able to be the ones to help you with certain things. But we do cover taxes. We do cover like business structures as far as setting them up and giving you guys advice there. We have a Canadian coach and I'm American, who specifically do know even more in-depth nuances of some of those legalities and taxes in those cities or in those countries. And then I know a lot about being a digital nomad and having to deal with varieties of countries on that. So that's what I would say with that is we will help you in any way that we can. But at the end of the day, obviously I am not a lawyer. So that's what I have to say there. Samia, what date and time will the live calls be? That's a great question. We actually don't have those set quite yet. We wait until everyone enrolls and we try and do our best to take into consideration time zones. But most of the time the calls are in the middle of the week, and we will vary the times as well, just to throughout the month, give people some options. So with that being said, we also have extra calls. So we have weekly group coaching calls, and then almost every week there's a bonus call. So sometimes it's a co-working session, sometimes it's an extra Q&A call, sometimes it's a tech workshop, a networking party, something like that. And we always vary those times just to make sure that everyone has different options. But we're very used to dealing with literally people from every single time zone. So this is something that we work with in the program all the time, and you'll have plenty of support no matter what. Lucy, my time zone varies, Lucy. I was in America. I'm currently in Greece, but I will only be in Greece for a couple weeks. So yeah, my time zone varies a little bit. Amazing. If you guys have any more detailed questions, I am an open book. Like I said, I am super here to support you guys in making this empowered decision. So I am going to go ahead and close things out. If you have any further questions, please message me on Instagram at Amanda Colby, and I am super happy to shoot you a voice note, anything like that. But I want to go ahead and get this code up for everyone who is just jazzed and excited to join us. I cannot wait. I was just looking, we already have 5 people signed up. So it's going to be such an amazing group. So send me a DM right now. And like I said, check back the webinar bonus. I will leave open for an hour, which we've never done before. So an hour, you can still get these private coaching calls, all of this stuff. Check back for the code in your email within the next 10 minutes and check on the website probably within the next 5 minutes for the corrected code. Okay. Yes. Oh my gosh. I would so appreciate that, Jessica. We love sharing the LLB word. Okay, amazing. Thank you guys for staying till the end. I am so happy to have y'all here, and I will see you guys later. Have a fabulous rest of your day or evening.